Hey, Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box Podcast. My name's Gary, and welcome to our December Roundtable. We hope you are keeping well and safe, and that you've all managed to do something Doctor Who related. I'm joined by some of our awesome writing team this evening. I'm going to bring this lot on in a minute. They're all looking very pensive, very much like, what's going down on this one? So, before we crack on and bring this rabble on, well, I hope you are listening to the Big Blue Box Podcast as a long-time listener coming back, or if this is the first time you are listening to the podcast, then welcome. It's good to have you here. This is one of our bonus episodes. Once a month, I grab as many of this lot as possible. This is our writing team, the guys that put the awesome reviews and articles out on the website and so on. Very, very, very talented bunch. Know their Doctor Who inside and out. Very, very cool. So, we do this once a month. We just, as the name suggests, we just sit around the table and chat about anything we want about Doctor Who. It's normally topical. It's normally something that's going on in the world of Doctor Who. So this evening we are talking about, and it is an evening as well. It's nice because Adam and I normally record during our lunch break or something like that. So it's nice just to have either a cup of tea or a beer, or if Mark's joining us, something stronger in the evening, and just and talk about Doctor Who. It's nice. So make sure you are following or subscribing to this podcast in wherever you get your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode when it lands every Saturday, or this very roundtable episode when it lands once a month. We also are on the socials. You can check the links out on the website, which is bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. Come and give us a like and a follow over there. We chat Doctor Who throughout the week, and we have a very cool Discord server, which is completely free. There's a link on the website to that as well. Hop in there and chat Doctor Who with plenty of other Who fans. This evening, I am joined by three other members of the writing team. First up, Harry. How are you doing, Harry? Come on.
I'm all right, Gary. First things first, this might seem really unprofessional, and you can cut this out if you want to, but are we recording? Are
we recording? Yes, we are, dude. Not to worry. It didn't say record on our recording stream software thingy, but not to worry.
I was really worried for like 2 minutes there if you were doing all that fantastic intro stuff and then we weren't recording, but that's cool. For you, in answer to your question, I'm really happy now that we're doing the podcast tonight. Certainly takes my mind off the wretched weather. I don't know what it is. Like normally I quite like the cold weather, but I don't know, global warming is making it even more harsh this winter. But I'm really very much looking forward to chatting Who, as always. And also, I wanted to mention that I'm doing a Doctor Who marathon right from the very beginning, just like your good self. I'm starting from an unearthly child and watching it all in order. So I've never done that before, never watched it in order. I've not seen every episode as well of the classic series. So yeah, that's really fun. I'm doing that on a daily basis. And I even have a little spreadsheet, a little nerdy spreadsheet. It will be very large by the time I finish the marathon, of course. But I'm writing a little bit about every individual episode. And it warms my Doctor Who heart. Absolutely.
That's so geeky. I love it. I love that. You could do a marathon from the beginning. And of course, let's fire up Excel. I assume it's Excel. Yeah, fire up Excel.
Google Sheets.
Oh,
actually,
Google. Oh, okay.
Myself.
Bit of a maverick. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of the emerging technology now. So yeah.
Very cool. So where are you up to?
Before we started recording, I just watched episode 5 of the Keys of Marinus. I believe it was called Sentence of Death.
Oh, okay.
Back when they had individual episode names. Not really liking Keys of Marinus all that much, to be honest. I think it's the weakest one so far. I kind of feel, because in that one they do like a different thing each week, which is a nice idea, but I feel like there's too many ideas that have good potential which kind of they're not fleshing out enough. Whereas the Daleks, also written by Terry Nation, was very nuanced and very clever, and they really explored the planet Skaro and the Daleks and their relationship with the Files and all that kind of stuff. This feels like there's loads of just underdeveloped ideas which just aren't. I'm not enjoying it all that much, but yeah, I'm hoping to get to the end of this soon. I might watch the last part after this, and then I can move on to the Aztecs, which is very exciting. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Very
I
nice.
might do a write-up on it soon. I might do a write-up on I might do maybe like once a month, once every 2 months, just kind of compile all the notes I've written and make them into an article. A very easy way to write an article. So it might mean they're more frequent from now on, perhaps. Who knows? I won't make any promises, but yeah.
Very nice, dude. No, that's very cool watching it from the very beginning. You're catching me up, actually. I'm only a few ahead of you. I'm up to season 2, the Dalek Invasion of Earth. So I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes or stories into series 2. So you'll be there before you know it. Very cool. Cheers, Harry. Jordan Shortman, how are you, dude? How's things?
I'm very good, Gary. Thank you. I'm just enjoying my season 2 box set.
Oh,
my
sweet.
Blu-ray box set, which turned up.
Did you get yours early or
so
regularly?
No, mine seemed to take forever to turn up. I was well jealous of seeing people on Twitter, and they had all theirs like the week or so beforehand. And then Amazon just decided, oh yeah, no, we'll post it like the week after it comes out. Oh, okay. Thank you a lot. Thank you for that. I'm seeing everybody else watching it, and I can't. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. I got Amazon as well. Annoying.
But trouble is, I know where I am with Amazon. That's I was gonna sound like a really old person now, but I know where I am with Amazon. But I like watching all like the behind the sofas first. Mm-hmm. It's always fun to see what the guests think of that one, especially this one. Janet Fielding, Sarah Sutton, and Wendy Padbury. They're fantastic. Oof. Those 3, yeah. But I think I've just finished Dalek Invasion of Earth, actually, on that one.
Oh, okay, cool. What do you think to the to the cleanup? Because it does look very cool. These early ones on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think it's done a really good job. I'm interested actually in, because I think I've only ever listened to I've seen the surviving episodes, but the Crusaders, I'm quite interested to see how they've done that. I don't know if there was maybe something about some of the pictures, they've done it so that the pictures move or something, there was something about they've done something a little bit different with the telesnaps.
Oh, okay. Because there's 2 missing eps, isn't there, in that story? Yeah.
Yeah.
2 or 3, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the second and the last one, I think.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, it looks really good, but I don't know what they're going to do with season 3 where most of it is missing.
That's good point. Yeah, maybe some flashy AI thing that's just going to animate it all from a script or from some audio or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Yes. Well, hopefully with Disney Plus's money, they'll be able to animate all of it. You never know.
Oi, you lot! Shh. Give us some beans here, please. Thank you very much. Some Disney beans. Enjoyed your reviews as well of the Big Finish stuff this week and last week. Some great reviews.
Thank you very much.
Always. Thank you very much. Good. Glad you're okay. Good. And Matt Steele. Hello, buddy. How's things?
Hello. How are we doing?
All good. You right?
I'm very well, thank you. Just like Harry said, to just trying to battle the freezing temperatures. I'm currently under a blanket because it's freezing in the room I'm recording in, I'm not man enough for it. So here I am. But apart from that, Doctor Who wise, well, actually, since the Power of the Doctor, my extremely better half has said that finished that episode. She said, wow, that was amazing. She said, I haven't seen a better Doctor Who episode in a long time. I was, this is the perfect opportunity. So, of course, BritBox goes on and we say, right, let's sort this out. So, Unearthly Child goes on and she actually likes it. So I was amazed.
Blimey.
So
good work.
But she said, well, let's go ahead and watch a few from each. I know that's going to sound like blasphemy to a lot of people listening, but it's working well. We're working our way through. We actually watched. What did we watch recently? Actually, to be fair, because it's Christmas, we've been watching the newer Christmas specials. and quite a bit of Sarah Jane Adventures actually as well, which I love. I watch that all the time if I could. And that's it for Doctor Who wise. Actually, like Jordan was saying, I don't know what Amazon do with anytime I order anything Doctor Who related, it's at least a week later than anyone else, it seems. It's like the release date is the 12th. You're getting it the 24th. Okay, that makes sense. But aside from that, I haven't actually delved into it yet. I'm really excited, but I haven't had a chance yet. And also the Doctor Who Am I documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Really looking forward to watching that one as well, because I love Paul McGann. He's my favourite Doctor. And I love the movie. It's a very touchy subject. But yeah, no, I love that one. And just learn more about it. I think it's going to be fascinating.
Did not know that. Did we forget that McGann was your favourite Doctor? Did you tell us that? I can't remember if you did or not.
I probably think so. Back along. I try and slip it in as much as I can, because people always go, "Oh, McGann, really?" I say, "Yeah, but not just the movie. I love the Big Finish adventures. They're just amazing."
He is great.
They're so good.
Yeah, on Big Finish. He's very cool.
Him and Charlie.
Oh yeah,
Charlie Pollard.
I see. Matt rocking the eighth. The eighth Doctor. No. Yeah, it's the eighth Doctor, isn't it?
Well, he is, unless you think about it too much.
Yeah.
And then could be the 1002nd.
Yeah. Depending on which way you look at it. Coming at it from a different angle. Yeah. Very cool, guys. Thank you very much. Glad you're all keeping well. You've done something Doctor Who related, at least. So the theme of this evening is we're going to talk about some new era Doctor Who stuff coming up around the corner. More specifically, some stuff around the news that we've had confirmed from Mr. Davies himself, where he has spoken about, in a little bit of detail, around the episode run counts for the next series and seemingly beyond, and also the return of the Christmas special, which I know, in the grand scheme of things, Harry's face, in the grand scheme of things, it's not sort of, I don't think anybody's losing sleep over the fact that we've not had a Christmas special, but you say that.
Oh, I definitely am.
Well, I was just going to say, when you bring it up in conversation, all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's more interesting and more divisive than politics, which is saying something. Should there be a Doctor Who Christmas special, or should it be New Year's, or should you just fluff it and just call it a festive special and put it on when you're like, who knows? But anyway, let's talk about some of the stuff with the content then, because typically with Doctor Who, you normally get 12, sometimes 13 episodes per series. And then you can normally add an extra one on, because back in the day, from 2005 onwards, you could normally tag the Christmas special on, and you've got 14-ish per series. With Chibbers, that's kind of gone awry a little bit, as we know. Kind of down to the pandemic in a way, though. So he had to, the powers that be had to make some changes in terms of production and all that stuff. So his hands were tied a wee bit in terms of that stuff. But Russell T Davies has now said, regardless of full production schedule, pandemic times, whatever's going on, it's going to be a definitive 8 episodes per series moving forward, which is really interesting, because some people have said that's not enough time. 8 episodes is nowhere near long enough to tell a decent story arc throughout a series of Doctor Who. Other people have said, well, that's the perfect number of episodes, because if we think about a lot of TV series that drop on things like Netflix and Disney Plus these days, you're normally looking around 6 to 8 episodes, 10 at a very push. It's not like the old days back in the 90s and early 2000s before streaming, where you had like a ridiculous amount, like 22 episodes per season, and especially some of the US shows. So, what do you guys think to this? Adam and I spoke about this very briefly on the podcast on last Friday's episode, but I really want to get your thoughts on this. So, Jordan, kick us off, please, buddy. What do you reckon to 8 episodes? Is this your cup of tea, or are you like, not feeling it?
I think it's fine. I think, it's a shame that it's not going to be 13 episodes, But they've got a bigger budget now. They've got, there is a lot more going for it now. And I suppose, really, it depends on what Russell Davies is doing with it. I don't think you could have told, like, I don't know, Bad Wolf or Torchwood or something over 8 episodes. But I suppose it depends on whatever his next story arc's going to be. If there is going to be one, it could be, the first series could be sort of 8 standalone episodes, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, I don't think.
Okay. So in your opinion, you'd like a little bit more, but it's a bit up in the air because you're not sure on what they're going to do narratively throughout the series.
Yeah, I think so. I think I feel a bit sorry for Ncuti Gatwa when you think every other Doctor's had sort of 13 episodes in their first series and he's only getting 8. But I suppose, and it also depends on the quality of the story, I suppose. Are those stories going to be fantastic? Because you don't want a series of 13 episodes and a bit like series 11 where really there's only about 2 or 3 good ones.
Sure. Yeah, no, I read you. I think one of the things that is worth remembering as well, and we spoke about this again on the podcast, was that the previous actors who have played the Doctor have all commented on how exhausting it is to play the Doctor, because I think Harry's probably the best person to comment on this stuff. We'll go to Harry next, actually, in a second, because he is our actor within the team, professional and all that. I would assume that, and this is why I want to get your opinion on this bit, Harry, that as an actor, you want to be able to not have burnout by the end of the year because you've just been so... And although Doctor Who is filmed predominantly in Wales still, actually no, I think Jodie's era was more outside of Wales for the first time, I believe. Anyway, it's full on, right? It's visual effects, it's on location, it's on set, and as the Doctor, you're obviously in every episode a lot, unless it's one of those very rare Doctor-like ones, like, whatever. So Harry, from that point of view, then, is it, from Ncuti's point of view especially, is this a good thing? That he's not going to come to the end of the year and think, Jesus Christ, what a year. And also, as an actor, would you like it? Is it the sort of thing as well where you'd like to be able to do other things in and around that role? Because it feels like doing Doctor Who before this point, you were glued. This was your only job. So, what are your thoughts on that, dude?
Yes. Yes to both those things in terms of, like, obviously Ncuti can go off and do other things. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to carry on Sex Education and still have his character in it. But it gives him room to maybe, do that the other half of the year that he's not doing Doctor Who. And also as well, I mean, as someone who's sort of like relatively early in the business, like in the career, it's hard work now, like having to, do not just acting, but also like, administration and, sorting out your taxes and networking and, part-time work as well to finance yourself, all the things that, the sort of less glamorous things that people don't talk about, it's very busy at this stage in your career. So, to be the level of working on BBC shows and being the figurehead of like one of the most popular franchises of all time and being the lead on a show, that can be really grueling. So I reckon 8 episodes, 9 if you count the Christmas special, is more sustainable, I think, in perhaps this landscape of film and television. You could argue maybe that they should have introduced it a while ago. I mean, Peter Capaldi, bless him, was looking knackered by the end of his time on Doctor Who, and it perhaps would have been better. I'm not saying the BBC has bad working conditions or anything like that, but it perhaps would have been better for the for Peter Capaldi as an employee of the BBC at that time, for perhaps to have to not be overworked so much. I mean, we don't know the ins and outs of it, and that's just all assumption based. But I think I reckon it's good in that perspective. As a fan, don't mind the fact that there are 8 episodes if I don't think about it too much. And what I mean by that is, most shows nowadays like only have 8, 10 episodes, like you were saying. But when I think about it too much, I think, well, where are we going to have the multi-part stories? And if there is a dud, then that means a bigger percentage of that series is a dud. At least if there's 13 episodes, you can kind of forget about that one episode that's not very good. But it's kind of like there's more at stake, because they're going to perhaps pump more into these episodes in terms of budget and resources and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be more pressure on them potentially. And yeah, I don't want to catastrophize, because I think it's a good thing. I think it can be a really good thing. But I'm just distracted because my cat seems to want to join in on the podcast. I do apologize. Listeners can't see him, obviously, but yeah, my cat really wants to give his 2 pennies on it. But yeah, no, I think it's I think by and large, I think it's a really good thing, because yeah, it seems like the crew aren't going to be overworked. It seems like they're going to put everything into these the shorter series, and yeah, I think it's just best to be optimistic about it, really. Yeah,
fair dues, fair dues. So what you're saying is, you don't really mind it too much, but you'd like room for more kablams throughout the series.
I mean, yeah, no, never want a repeat of that one. Yeah,
no,
that's a. But I mean, as I think Jordan was saying about the spin-offs, or somebody said something about spin-offs. I think we're going to be getting so many so much extra content, which is implied. I think that's what Russell's implying in the the article that he wrote in Doctor Who magazine. I'd be surprised if that's not what he meant by building an empire. I mean, what else does that mean? There's obviously a bunch of other things in the works. There's got to be,
It sounds like it, doesn't it? It definitely he alludes, but doesn't quite commit to that stuff. I read you. Cool, Matt. Are you up for 8 episodes of some solid RTD storytelling, or do you want more?
Well, as a Doctor Who fan, I'm just ecstatic to find that we're getting episodes every year. It's not been that way for a long time now, and I think that's one of the main things that kind of ruin it for the casual viewer. For us, we live for every scrap of tiny little bit of news, that anything towards Doctor Who, that it might, anything that we can get our mittens on, we'll live for it. But for the casual viewer, my brother was saying the other day, well, you're still watching Doctor Who? They cancelled it years ago. I said, well, no, they didn't. But you can't blame him.
But it feels
because,
like it.
Yeah, there's a year gap every year. The world moves on. Oh, wait, no, we're still here, but we've just taken a big break. And I just think this is a much better way to go about it. So if it means that we have to go down to 8, to get every single year new Doctor Who, I'm all for it. Plus, I don't think that they have mentioned the time of the episodes, the running time, have they?
No, I don't think so. No.
So we could be getting 8 episodes, but they could be an hour long, which over 8 episodes, quick maths, there's 10 episodes. So 45 minutes. For usual ones.
Yeah, no, really.
So it depends what he wants to do with it. And I think if anybody has safer hands than Russell T Davies, I've yet to meet them with Doctor Who.
Yes, yeah.
I'm not concerned about it at all.
Yeah, that's a really good point, isn't it? Because when I first read this news, excuse me, about the 8 episodes and so on, my mind was immediately drawn to some shows that have done that so well. If you think about something like Stranger Things, which I don't think has, I think that's only 8 episodes or 10 tops, I can't remember, but that was some of the most epic, amazing, brilliant, and it felt like a lot longer as well. Once you got to the end of it, for me anyway, it felt like I'd watched 30 hours
Definitely.
worth of stuff, because it was just so well paced and well written. So if you can get that nailed, if you can get the story if you can get the pacing right throughout each episode, and if it's an hour long, like they did do with Stranger Things, and then who knows, they might do, because that it definitely feels like they're slotting into that streaming model a little bit more with this versus the traditional sort of terrestrial TV way of broadcast. And the other thing as well is that if it's a Disney Plus thing, are they just going to drop all 8 episodes together like they usually do with that stuff? Or, you know, are they going to do a weekly thing? Who knows?
I really hope not. I hope they do a weekly, not all at once.
I'm planning out not.
No, it's just the Saturday night 7 p.m. child in me that just wants it weekly to build the suspense. But another point that I was going to bring up is in the opposite of what I was saying. If we all travel back to 2007, 2008, we had not only 13 to 14 episodes of Doctor Who, we had 12 episodes of Sarah Jane Adventures, and we had 13 episodes of Torchwood. So what's changed? That's what I keep thinking. What's
changed as in showrunner and all that stuff and production, or do you mean just in general?
Well, in general, I know a lot has changed since then, but why can't we... the production can't handle doing like that amount of episodes for that many shows at the same time.
Right.
Whereas when we've had like 8 episodes or 10 episodes sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Harry.
I would assume that because obviously doing the marathon and sort of writing down the list of episodes that I need to watch as part of that, you notice that the first 6 seasons of Doctor Who had like 45 episodes per season or something ridiculous, and then it came lower and lower, and it seems to be that the same thing is happening, which is interesting. I mean, it begs the question, like, you know, what's going to happen when we just end up getting like 1 episode a year, you know, like if it keeps on reducing. But I think I mean, I'm no expert at all on this, but I would say that maybe the way television is perhaps made changes over time, so then kind of more I guess like I say, resources and time gets put into reducing less content. Maybe it's more of a kind of quality over quantity thing. Marvel obviously put out a thing recently where they sort of reviewed their last phase of movies and TV shows, and they're going to focus more on quality rather than quantity, just churning out loads of episodes of things and loads of movies. So maybe that's just kind of maybe Russell, who's obviously, you know, got an amazing understanding of the business and, you know, of television, how you make it. And obviously he's working with Disney, and Disney obviously have a good understanding of it as well. You know, maybe they're kind of clocking onto this and going, maybe that's how we should make Doctor Who, quality over quantity. I reckon maybe it's a conscious choice. Maybe perhaps they could make more episodes, and, you know, they could make as much as they did when they were doing Doctor Who, Sarah Jane Adventures and Torchwood at the same time. But I reckon maybe it's it's on purpose, perhaps.
It definitely feels on purpose. What do you reckon, Jordan? Do you reckon this is a tactical move by Russell and Bad Wolf and all those guys at Disney to capitalize on this kind of succinct way of storytelling, or do you think this is a limitation that's been put upon them?
No, I think Russell T Davies knows what he's doing. I think the way you watch TV has, especially something like Doctor Who or, like you said, Stranger Things, it's the way you consume that is a lot different than you do, I don't know, something like EastEnders or something like that, which is on every single blooming day. So I think that it has changed quite a bit, the way you watch something like this. But I think, you know, Russell Davies knows what he's doing, and if that's what he wants to do, then maybe, you know, that's what he's decided is best.
Yes, yeah. I think I think you mentioned this, Matt, that it feels like we're back not that we ever lost it to a degree, but it feels like we're back in very safe hands with Mr. Davis. It feels like he's the dude that can. If you think about all of the things that he's done since Doctor Who, and he was beeping brilliant back when he was doing Doctor Who. If you think about all of the stuff he's done since, that now just adds into the whole grab bag of experience and stuff that he's now he's garnered as a writer and a producer and all that stuff. So I think now coming back to Doctor Who, he's got all of these, over a decade's worth of experience of doing all other stuff, and I think I think it would be a very different story as if he'd have left Doctor Who at the end of Tennant's run and then Moffat did a short run and then he came back. I think it would be a very, very different mindset for him. So because he's had such a decent break and is now coming, so I think he's the guy, if anybody can have both sides of the coin. He's got the Doctor Who experience, of course, because he kicked the whole thing off again for us, but then he's also got all of the external knowledge of just being a really good TV writer, of doing all the other stuff. So now we can come back and flip the coin like Two-Face and Batman's like, yeah, what should we do? Just flip the coin. There we go. So sticking with you, Jordan, let's talk about the Christmas special. The specials that we've now, that Chibber's just annihilated with fire. He was like, we're not doing Christmas. He's like, he was the Scrooge, wasn't he, of Doctor Who? But now they're coming back as of next year. So are you happy? Do you like the Christmas special, or are you just like, meh, I'll watch it whenever?
I think I like the Christmas special. It doesn't really bother me when it's on, but something about it being on New Year's Day, it's kind of just like, it's the beginning of the series as opposed to having a special. So I quite like being able to watch it on Christmas Day. There is something quite Christmassy about Doctor Who. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the idea that it can be anything, like a gift or something. It can be anything.
Sure.
But I think during Russell T Davies's time, it did sort of cement itself as a Christmas time television staple. Everybody always knew that Doctor Who was on, and I think that's something that Chris Chibnall didn't understand, or the BBC didn't understand. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no, Chris Chibnall definitely did sort of just obliterate it completely.
He did, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting subject because I don't think we'll ever know unless Chibbers talks about it in an interview in years to come, I'm not sure. But I'm not sure we'll ever know the fast and hard reason why he just called time on Christmas Day and decided to do it on New Year's. Maybe it was a bit of an experiment. Maybe it was if people are hungover and just asleep on the sofa Christmas afternoon, they're not going to watch Who. But that, now I've said it out loud, that argument holds no water because people are more likely to be more hungover on New Year's Day, and asleep on the sofa.
I found myself to be a bit more hungover on New Year's Day.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. And Harry, what do you think to this Christmas special then? Because another interesting point, just before I get your overall thought on it, one interesting point is there's also a nice build-up to the Christmas Day special, because throughout the day, and especially remember those little idents that they used to do on the BBC before it started, you get like the little Christmas little scene, I think back in the day there was a really cool one with David Tennant and on like some reindeers with some sledges and stuff, but you get that really kind of home cozy feeling, that voice. It's like, and now for Christmas Day, Doctor Who returns. You get all that stuff. So the build up to the Christmas Day special was always cool. So did you enjoy that? And then just overall, do you like it on Christmas, or do you're not bothered?
Oh man, I blooming loved. Well, specifically that ident that you mentioned of like all over Christmas on television, just seeing David Tennant not in the TARDIS, but on the TARDIS, being flown around by a bunch of reindeers. I mean, it made no sense, but it was wonderful. It was joyous. And yeah, there was just something. I mean, this is the thing. Like Doctor Who on Christmas, you know, for as long as I can remember, like Doctor Who was always on Christmas. You know, the first Christmas I remembered was the Christmas Invasion. So showing my age there, but I loved it, and I loved the build up, and the build up to Christmas would always be like the build up to Doctor Who in a way. You know, that's just how much I'm obsessed with Doctor Who, obviously. Yeah, so it was. It always niggled me that it sort of moved to New Year's Day when Chibnall took over. But you know, it was still nice to have that festive special. And yeah, it's a bit weird this year that we're getting nothing, obviously. But yeah, no, it's great to hear that. You know, we will be getting festive specials back, and you know, love them or hate them. I mean, like, I obviously wrote an article all about this last Christmas about how the festive special could actually be it could get a bit formulaic and repetitive, because it's kind of like when you're doing like a marathon of all these episodes, and then every season or so you get like a festive episode. It's kind of a bit like it just feels a bit repetitive and a bit routine. But having said that, I just like getting Doctor Who on Christmas, and I just think it's a nice treat. So I don't want to moan too much about it. I'm never going to moan about new Doctor Who, you know. Yeah, I think it's also worth pointing out, before we get too excited, that I think in Doctor Who magazine, I don't think Russell specified that it was Christmas Day. I think he just said that it was kind of like he was writing something for the festive period. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to try and get it on Christmas Day on BBC One, because, you know, he's a smart guy, and I think, like we say, he knows what he's doing. But yeah, I don't think he clarified yet that it was a Christmas Day special. So for all we know, it might be New Year's or Boxing Day or Christmas Eve or any other time around the festive period. But fingers crossed it's Christmas Day, because Doctor Who really should be on Christmas Day.
It should be, yeah. And now, Doctor Who. Matt.
Oh, the best.
Matt, I'm going to ask you a question. Harry just brought it up, actually. There is a possibility that it might not be Christmas Day, but what would your thoughts be if it landed on Boxing Day? Because that's not terrible. That's not the end of the world. So, I mean, are you bothered about the Christmas Day special at all anyway? You probably, I don't know. I can't read, Matt. What's he going to say?
No, I don't even like him.
He's such a liar. Look at his little face. He can't keep that in for long.
No, I mean, come on.
The best Christmas special, come on. The Return of Dr. Mysterio, come on.
Obvious. No, the Husbands of River Song. Obviously.
Obviously.
Sorry,
the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe is where it's at.
Oh, no, we started something now.
You know, the worst part about watching that episode was that I was severely ill that Christmas. Like, I was so ill. Like,
Jordan.
So it just made it even worse.
Jordan might like that one.
Maybe.
No, I don't. It should be forced to people on death row.
Jesus. Whoa.
It's an awful story, Dr. Widow and the Wardrobe. Absolutely awful story. I think that's worse than Sleep No More. I think Doctor and the Widow and the Wardrobe could put you to sleep.
Jordan's just cemented his place on a...
I think if they ever
it's the COVID talking, I think is what it is.
I think you're on Moffat's dartboard now, aren't you?
I was going to say, if they ever capture Evil Dan and put him in jail, what they should do as a punishment is they should make him watch the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe.
I've just got visions now of you know, in that old film, is it A Clockwork Orange? You know, when he's got like the things that are holding his eyes open and they're sort of subjecting him to the sort of visual torture. That could be that, but for that episode, like inmates just being tortured by that episode.
And he just sat there like,
Sorry, Matt. Sorry, you were saying, are you bothered by the old Grimbo Day being on New Year's Day, or you want it back?
Sorry, we went a little bit off topic there, didn't we?
Jordan.
However, no. Yeah, Jordan. No, I think about Christmas Day. I don't know about anybody else, but when I think about it, I think about presents. I think about family and turkey, and Doctor Who. It just goes hand in hand. It's not Christmas Day without Doctor Who. The last few years, I've had to watch repeats, and I'm not happy. I mean, it kind of put Chibnall on the wrong foot for me from the very beginning. I was like, right, well, you best give us a good series if you're taking that away, and that's up for debate. I love Christmas specials. I think it's touching on what Jordan was saying earlier. He said that he can't quite put his finger on why it's so special to have it on Christmas Day. I think it's the magic. Doctor Who at its heart is magical, and Christmas is just magic. It's a time where we all come together, full of magic in the air, and time of just happiness, and that's what Doctor Who brings us: happiness and magic and joy. So yeah, no, I don't want it on Boxing Day. I don't want it on any other day. I want it on Christmas Day, and I want it now.
Yeah, Russell.
Yeah, Russell.
Take heed. Otherwise, Matt will not be happy if we do not get it on Christmas Day. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind Boxing Day, because that still feels very, very Christmassy to me, Boxing Day, because you've still got all the leftovers. You know, you've still got your tree up. You've still got all the stuff. You don't. Yeah, you still got all that stuff going on. So I wouldn't mind Boxing Day, but I would prefer Christmas Day. So Russell, we know you listen. Make sure that you clear the schedule for Christmas Day.
I tell you what, though.
Oh, here we go.
I tell you what. Just to give a balanced review, I do get, however, that. I know Adam says it a lot when it comes to Christmas specials, that he always has his family there, everyone gathered round. Even if he does get a chance to watch it, he can't hear it, he can't pay full attention. And you're normally, quite merry by the time it's on anyway. So the balanced part of me wants to say I can see Chibnall's point, but the Doctor Who fan in me is still mad with him.
I see. That's reasonable. Can't argue with that, Matt. A question in for each of you. Do you think that sticking with the Christmas special, do you think that the Doctor Who Christmas special should be a Christmas themed story? Or can it be any story, anything at all? It just happens to be on Christmas Day. Harry.
That's a tricky one. I think that you can't have something like Heaven Sent, for example, an episode all about death. You couldn't have that on Christmas. That wouldn't be befitting for the season. I do think it definitely needs to have an element of festivities or a passing nod to Christmas. But I don't think you need to have, A Town Called Christmas or Killer Robot Santas or Santa Claus himself, and all that kind of stuff. I don't think you need to kind of go balls to the wall, Christmas bonanza with it, but certainly an element of it, because, it does need to sort of justify being on Christmas Day somehow, doesn't it? And I don't know why that's a rule, but I feel like that's just, written somewhere in an invisible rule book,
Okay. Interesting. Jordan. We've lost Jordan. I thought we were going to get through an episode without a technical gremlin. Oh, he's back. He's back. Hold on. He's back. Jordan's back. He's materialising. Here we go.
Every time this happens, I imagine the triangles in the Five Doctors, sort of scooping people up and then put them back out again.
Are you okay, Jordan?
Yeah, our Wi-Fi is just really dodgy, that's all.
I was just saying to these guys, I was so sure that this one, we were going to go from start to finish with no technical gremlins. But right, so question to you then. Should it be Christmas themed to be on Christmas Day or not?
I think there should be an element of something Christmassy. But I think it needs to. I don't think it needs to be Christmas. I think it's sort of something like Voyage of the Damned is fine, where it sort of starts off as Christmas and then everybody dies, and it's sort of. I think I think that's fine. So I don't think it needs to be Christmassy, but I think it definitely needs to have sort of an element of Christmas about it. I think to sort of separate it from what came before and what, the next series is going to be a little bit.
Okay. Matt, same question to you, buddy. Does the Christmas Day, if it was to be on Christmas Day, does it have to be Christmas themed in its story, or can it just be anything, any old Doctor Who story?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it has to have a hint of Christmas, just a sprinkle. It's not overloaded. I don't think it needs, like Harry was saying, robot Santas and killer Christmas trees. I like it, but I don't think it's absolutely needed. But then again, like you said earlier, Heaven Sent just doesn't fit there. It's a bit doom and gloom. But a little bit, but not completely, not overdone, just subtly and just nice Christmas feel. It's like a hopeful episode, I would say.
Okay, outrageous. So that's one of the best examples of that. I think you mentioned it, Harry, is the Christmas invasion, because that's a very cool kind of. You feel like they're on the ropes for a lot of the episode, a lot of the story, and it's not until the last sort of 15 minutes where the Doctor comes to life almost. He wakes up and takes on the Sycorax, and it's all good. So it's a real kind of how are they going to even though that's not a typical Christmas special as such officially, it does feel like a very cool Christmas story, that one, for that very reason. So I'll read you, dude. I'll read you. So I think the consensus then on this is it doesn't have to be a full-on hugely Christmassy themed story, but it does have to have a little bit of Christmas flavour in there, particularly at the beginning. So to quote Jordan, who's very upbeat, he said that everybody dies after that. So cool, let's just have the nice Christmas spirit in there, and then just mass genocide, and let the Doctor go and do his or her thing.
Justice once rules. Everybody dies. Everybody dies.
Yeah, it's a Doctor Who Redux version. Yeah, I'll read you. Okie dokie. So I think on those series of bombshells then, I think we're going to wrap there for the December roundtable. You guys, have you got any Christmas, apart from Jordan? Keep it upbeat, Jordan. Have you guys got any Christmas messages to our Big Blue Box listeners? Anything you want to say to them for because we won't be getting together now until January. So anything you want to say, Harry?
Oh, there are a million things I could say, but I'll just keep it simple. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good one.
Oh, short and sweet. Very nice. Matt, anything you want to say to our listeners?
Just thank you very much for listening to us Doctor Who peeps waffling and reading our articles, and just Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you lovely people.
Oh, very nice. And Jordan, your message to our listeners.
Yeah, I would just say Merry Christmas and thank you for listening to the podcast, because if you weren't listening to the podcast, then we wouldn't be able to write and do all the cool stuff that, everybody on the site does. And yeah, Merry Christmas. And as the first Doctor says, a Merry Christmas to all of you at home.
Oh, I remember that. That's so sweet. Oh.
See, look, I can be nice occasionally. It does happen occasionally.
Got that warm, fuzzy feeling now. I love that bit. Oh. Thank you very much, guys. We are going to wrap there. Let's do it for the December roundtable. Thank you. I'm laughing because these guys have just got like various props and stuff going on with bopping away to the music. Thank you very much for listening to the December Roundtable. It's been very cool to chat with these guys around some very cool stuff that we have to look forward to in the new era of Doctor Who, which is round the corner. It will be here before we know it, Japs, and we'll be enjoying some new Russell era Doctor Who, I'm sure. So thank you guys so much for your insight and your thoughts on Doctor Who. Harry, it's been very cool. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much, Gary. It's been a blast as always. I enjoyed the Christmas roundtable last year, and this year was no different. So thank you ever so much. It's been a whopping great year. 2023 is going to be another whopping great year. Let's do it.
Indeedy. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Jordan. It's been cool as always.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Thank you. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I don't sound like it, but I have done. It's been brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you. Matt, thank you very much, dude. It's been hilarious as always. Cheers, dude.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and it's just been a blast, like it always is, and it always cheers you up and puts you in an amazing mood.
Indeed.
And Merry Christmas to you, and I hope you have a good one.
Indeedy, yes. So thank you once again, guys. It's been awesome. We will see you in January, dear listener, for our next roundtable, where we will hopefully get the whole bunch on, the whole crew, and we can talk about all the stuff that's coming up for Doctor Who. In the meantime, make sure that you're doing all the things I mentioned. Subscribe, follow, go to the website, Big Blue Box Podcast, .co.uk, do all that stuff, and we will see you next time. Until then, remember...